So DISCE is a collaborative European project looking at developing inclusive and sustainable creative economies. At the centre of our research, we're asking the question, what is a sustainable, inclusive creative economy and how can it be developed? And we're doing this by taking 10 case studies, 10 European cities, and we're looking at the creative economy in that specific location. We're using a variety of methods. We'll be talking to people from a bottom-up perspective, so we'll be talking to creative practitioners, artists, media workers, we'll be talking to students, we'll be talking to creative educators, we'll be talking to policymakers, local policymakers, and how they respond and develop the creative economy. And we'll also be talking to audiences and users, so we get an understanding of these sort of shared values of culture and creativity. We've seen creativity in the cultural industry just grow exponentially in the past 20, 30 years. And we've seen how they've become a real, I guess, showcase sector for policymakers in terms of driving economic growth. But there are problems within the sector, there are problems within the industry, and these problems are both local and global. There's issues around access to employment, there's issues around workplace rights, there's issues about the sustainability of the future, of the sector. There's lots of issues about space and access to space, and what happens when a creative sector develops a space and who has right to that geographical space. And there's issues in terms of how do we ensure that we create this in a way that is more inclusive beyond a kind of economic understanding. Not that economic isn't important, it's just it's become the dominant narrative, I guess, to kind of really justify creativity and the culture, and we're sort of looking for narratives and values beyond that, to think about how we can value it differently. Co-creation lab and also the kind of community workplaces, workplace forums and the community workshops, I think this is a really important way to reach out to people who haven't been necessarily captured in research before as part of the creative economy. So they've been captured in terms of they're seen as audiences or users or consumers. But we haven't looked at things holistically. So looking at kind of how people can be both producers and consumers and practitioners and users, and it's all kind of a sort of more circular model that actually the creative economy it's harder to define because it's something bigger than the kind of metrics allow us to understand. So we're being very ambitious in this project, but being able to access people that work in it, being able to kind of workshop ideas and concepts with different people who access and participate within the creative economy, I think is really important of generating data from the ground up.